Okay, let's make the last bridesmaid's top. Okay, so it's time to make the lace top for the 17-year-old, which we're using the Seychelles top. This is a woven t-shirt pattern. There are pleats on the sleeves. I just want to make sure that there was enough room to get them in, as she wanted 8-inch sleeves. I mean, there's a bit of stretch in the lace, but just to be on the safe side. And also I'm not doing it as long as this, assuming that I've got everything right and my sister's measured things accurately. The tops should sort of meet the waistband of the skirts. If they don't, we've got the camisoles underneath, so nothing's going to be revealed that the girls aren't going to be comfortable with. But yeah, so we're using this one for the 17-year-old. She wanted a V-neck, she wanted short sleeves. I think the sleeves are going to be a bit shorter than they're shown here. So this involves darts. This involves stay stitching. So first step, stay stitching. Second step is bust darts, which should look all right in this lace. It's busy enough that should mask it. The hems look okay on the twins ones. So yes, I'll get the stay stitching in, the darts done, shoulder seams connected. And that's about as far as I can remember in the instructions. It's probably side seams next and then sleeves. It's not a complicated pattern. Yeah, so let's get cracking. There are a couple of things I've done differently whilst cutting out this pattern to how it's drafted. First of all, I've cut it out a little shorter. Probably going to need to shorten it further. But the back piece was supposed to be seamed in centre back. But with it being lace, and I've already got centre seams on the skirts, which is not ideal, but the fabric wasn't wide enough to cut them on the fold. I've cut out a single piece for the back, so that's a little bit different. And what else did I change? Anything else? Oh yes, the facings for the neck opening. I'm going to be using bias tape like I've done on the twins ones. The bias tape isn't perfect. On the twins one, the pattern calls for single fold bias tape. I need a double fold, so it's a little bit heavier weight than would be ideal for the lace, but it's fine. I folded in the edges of the bias tape, sewed it on like I normally would, and folded the bias tape in half, so it's half its width. On those, so I'll do the same on this one, I think. I need to work out how I'm going to be attaching the bias tape to the V-neck on here, because obviously that's quite a different process to facings, but that's a later problem. Okay, so we have the body done. See, the bust darts are fairly inobtrusive. French seamed the shoulders and the sides. So now it's time to put the pleats in the sleeves, French seam the underarm seam, and then set them in. So we are definitely getting there with this one. Okay, so now we have sleeves with their pleats in place. The pleats will pretty much disappear into the lace, but so just give a little bit of extra room just to make sure that we're fine getting those on. So I just need to hem these to the right length, set them in, and it's bind the neck and hem the tops. So not far off, and it's time I took a break for a drink. And obviously that's going to be like water. Not nutty enough to drink alcohol, and so that would be a bad plan. Okay, so I've shortened the sleeves. Yes, Leo, I've shortened them. I've shortened the sleeves to my niece's preferred length. So now they just need setting in. Then we can bind the neck and hem the bodice. So this is coming together quite nicely. Leo, can you go on the windowsill, please? So I can get to the sewing machine. Because you're kind of in the way there. You don't care, do you? Okay, so sleeves are in. I finished the sleeve seam the same as I did on the twins. So I zigzagged that, sewed it like normal, so right sides together. And I zigzagged the edge of the seam allowance, and then I've top stitched it down, which is not what the pattern calls for. But because of the nature of the fabric, it seems to be the best option for finishing armhole sleeves. And at least it holds the seam allowance in the right direction. So next is binding the neckline so that I can then measure the length of the back and make sure that this is the length we're looking for before I hem it. So yeah, almost there. Okay, so here we have the 17-year-olds. So it does have a soft v-neck. Hopefully it's v-neck enough. We'll give it another press later, and that might make it a little bit more v-ish. I do struggle with the points on v-necks. I might be able to do something about that later, a couple of stitches to make it more v-like. But yeah, time to sort the hem out, and then we're done, bar the trimming of the loose threads and the double checking the V once everything's been pressed. So on with that. Okay, so there is the finished short-sleeved v-neck lace top for my older niece. As you can see, it's a lot shorter than the camisole layer. The idea is that the camisole layer will be tucked into the skirt, and that assuming my sister Mary measured the back measurements correctly, which is likely, she's an accountant, she's very accurate at these things. B, I measured the length of the back correctly on the garment, and C, the girls haven't grown anymore since they were last measured. The lace tops should meet the waistband of the skirt. If they don't, the camisole will still provide coverage. So if there is a little bit of a gap, I wouldn't have thought it'd be more than sort of half an inch of gap, maybe an inch if they have a mega growth spurt. But yeah, that's the concept. And that's them all done. So I'm going to go and travel back in time and hem the skirts that are still there in my timeline, but in your timeline you will have seen them finished. And yeah, I'll try and get some pictures of all three outfits, how they are worn, to show you when I do my roundup of July and August. June, July and August? Did I do one at the end of June? Might be June, July and August. A mega roundup of what I've been working on whilst I've been prepping for the wedding. So hopefully they'll be able to get a picture of the girls in their outfits. I might have to obscure the faces because obviously they're not my children. But yeah, so that's that, and I will see you after my honeymoon.